Hey, comic lovers, EMoney, the old man, and Thor the Dog of Thunder here. I like holding on to Thor right now because his fur is so warm, right? All right, so we have a very special episode in store for you today because we have a topic. Haven't had a topic in a while besides movie reviews.
Wait a minute, what's this topic you speak of?
Well, just last week was Disney Plus Day, where we talked about all of the new projects and shows coming out from Marvel Studios, and we're going to talk about a few of them today.
Easy.
Also, we have our comic reviews, our comic previews, and I have an all-new Movieism for you. So, no Stump the Old Man. This will be the fourth week in a row, so I'm sure, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, Stump the Old Man. What's all that about?
Yeah. All right, well, take it from Clint. There are always more dangerous arrows. This is Back Issues. All right, comic lovers. So before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on your notifications, give us a thumbs up, and if you like, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think of some of these reviews, or you can give us some recommendations. All right, so Disney Plus Day was just last week. We talked about all of the new announcements from Marvel and Disney Studios, all the different shows, movies, projects they're going to be doing. Of course, Hawkeye starts next week. Super excited about it. But they're talking about a lot of the, further down the road projects. We got teaser trailers to a lot of new stuff. We got Miss Marvel. We got Moon Knight. We got She-Hulk. We got like a little tiny teaser trailer to Secret Invasion. And then we got like announcements to a lot of other stuff. So my question to you is, what are you looking forward to the most?
Well, it's tough. There's the actress from Orphan Black who's starring in She-Hulk is an incredible performer. I mean, absolute highest respect for her abilities. Looking forward to seeing what she can do with that character. But I have to go with the one I'm looking forward to the most, which is also the one they could very easily screw up, is Moon Knight.
Okay.
I mean, Moon Knight is a character who has been around for a while, and in the comics they've bounced around with him. So many different series that started and then got canceled. But if you take Batman, let's face it, Batman is insane. But where his insanity ends is where Mark Spector or Moon Knight's begins. I mean, he's in it deep. I mean, he is a total wackadoo.
Okay.
I mean, he's got all these multiple personalities, and depends on how they write him for the show, he's not even aware of all these personalities. And on top of that, but he thinks he owes allegiance to some moon god. Okay. That gave him his powers and et cetera, et cetera. I'm not even sure he has any powers. Pretty sure he's just a guy with some athletic ability and some toys who's nuts. Okay. But really looking forward to it. Man, it's going to be a roll of the dice to see how they do with that one. Because if they stray away from the source material on this, of which there's a lot of different directions you can go, but if they decide, well, all these stories went this way, so we're going to go that way, they're going to make a mistake.
Right. Well, I'm going to have to give my number one pick to She-Hulk because, like you said, looking at her name, Tatiana Maslany, and I'm sorry if I butcher the last name. If you watch Orphan Black, which I highly recommend, she gives such an incredible performance in this show. I mean, she earns every bit of that Emmy that she got for this. She plays 4 main characters. They're clones. 4 main characters, plus she played one of the antagonists on the show for a little bit, and plus, there were a few other clones that played.
Well, I think she plays a total of 8 to 10 characters.
Yeah,
but
she played a few minor clones throughout the series. Also, I mean, you look at these characters that she plays, and then you see the blonde, ditzy. Hairdresser type character that she plays for a few episodes. I mean, it's just amazing her range and how she pulls that off. And I thought that they were going to bring the blonde into the family at some point during the show, but they actually managed to keep her at a distance, which kind of disappointed me. But
they did not need her in the group. No.
I thought they were going to bring her in, but Felix, he got really close to her, so I thought, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, amazing performance. The most amazing thing about her performance, though, was those times when she played a clone pretending to be another clone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the way she did it, the subtle differences in her performance, to which if you're, an eagle-eyed viewer, and you're looking at her in the scene and you're like, oh, wait a minute. That's not her.
There was a couple of times where I didn't know that she wasn't the person she was acting like she was. I mean, It was a surprise. Oh, that's not even her.
Right. And, the subtleties in her performance that you could tell the difference if you're paying attention was just nothing short of amazing. And that a character can pull that off. She's playing one character in the show. I mean, that's going to be...
I'm not sure how they're going to do the CGI part of it, but...
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that it's, basically, a tracking suit or whatever, and, she's going to be, there giving the performance most of the time.
Well, in the comics, even when she's the She-Hulk, she looks like her alter ego.
Right.
Just bigger.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that's all they do with it, because, that's wasted talent if they do anything else. But, this performance should be child's play to her, so I'm just curious to see what she's going to do with it. All right, so there's Moon Knight and She-Hulk. Also, we got a teaser trailer for, and, if you've been watching EMoney and the Old Man, you know that the Old Man usually does not watch trailers. But for Disney Plus Day and these teasers, we agreed that they didn't give enough away to have him.
He watched them first, and if there was anything that I didn't want to see, he would have told me.
Yeah, but they were teaser trailers. They were the first ones that came out, so I didn't think they give enough away to really spoil anything for the Old Man.
I don't feel like anything was spoiled.
Right. All right. So also you have Miss Marvel. Now this is pretty groundbreaking, because they're going to have the first Muslim American superhero on screen that I know of. If someone wants to correct me on that, go ahead. But as far as I know, it's the first, and that's going to be a big deal to a lot of people out there. And what I love about Miss Marvel's character is that she is just an absolute fangirl in the Marvel Universe.
She's a kid.
Yeah.
I told you before, my favorite Spider-Man stories were the early Amazing Spider-Man tales when he was in high school. He's still a kid.
Mm-hmm.
When he grew up, I just didn't think the stories were as interesting. Well, here we're going to have a girl who's a kid. She worships all these different superheroes, and suddenly she has the powers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember what I said about the source material?
Yeah.
You don't want to stray away from it. Rumor going around, and it's just a rumor, that, let's face it, was Ms. Marvel's most known superpower.
Stretchy powers.
Right.
So she can get big and make a big fist.
The rumor is that that's not going to be her power.
What?
Yeah. It's just a rumor, and I hope that Marvel hasn't lost their mind and they're going to screw up a character by straying that far from the source material.
Okay, I mean, I would say that, of course they're going to know better than that, but, that's not always the case, because, we saw Black Widow just this summer with Taskmaster, and they screwed that up.
But what was that Taskmaster? I mean, I'm almost wanting to say that really wasn't Taskmaster, because they screwed it up so bad.
I mean,
I don't care that Taskmaster was female. The gender change didn't bother me a bit.
I mean, the problem was that Taskmaster was a drone in the movie and had no personality. Which, I mean, you're completely destroying Taskmaster's, like, the biggest thing about him.
His ego.
Yeah. So, I would like to say that you'd think after 10 years they would know not to mess with the source material, but, as of last summer, apparently they haven't learned yet.
Well, it's been more than 10 years, but...
Yeah. And, they screwed it up earlier on in Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin. And
they tried to cover that.
They tried to course correct a little bit in Shang-Chi, but still, he didn't...
Close.
Yeah,
close.
He didn't feel as much like the Mandarin that I know from the comic books, but... So, hopefully that's just a rumor. Alright, so there's Miss Marvel, and you got like the quickest of teasers in Secret Invasion. You just got a shot of Nick Fury. Like, that's the whole trailer.
If it was even Nick, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a Skrull for all we know. Which I guess is the point, Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion, there should be a Skrull story to it.
Mm-hmm. And also, you have a lot of things that they announced with no trailers. You have Agatha, House of Harkness, that they just announced.
That could be really good.
Mm-hmm. You have I Am Groot. You have Echo, who is I had to look it up because I didn't like what's Echo in the Marvel context.
Well, actually, he's got a bunch of stuff going for that character.
Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff in this one. Echo is the adopted daughter of Kingpin, which suggests that Kingpin has not been in the MCU just yet. Not really. I mean, he was in the Netflix shows, but they've kind of retconned the Netflix shows now.
Don't know why.
Yeah. So, that suggests that they're going to bring Kingpin into it. Echo is the adopted daughter of Kingpin. She is of Cheyenne ancestry, and she was born deaf. So, a lot of stuff there.
Hitting a lot of gaps in that one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we had our first big deaf character in the Eternals just last week, but now we're bringing in a new one. So that's Echo. Eager to see what they do with that. Also, for animated stuff, they announced season 2 of What If. Also, we're going to get Spider-Man freshman year. Don't know what that's going to be about. And, we have kind of hit and miss relationship with animated stuff. I guess you would call us animation snobs. It's like we either love it or don't based on the animation.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it's kind of like how we feel about artwork in comic books.
Mm-hmm.
If it sucks, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to get past that if the artwork in an animated show is so bad that it's distracting, you're not going to enjoy the story as much.
I tried watching Ultimate Spider-Man when it came out, and I couldn't get past the juvenileness of the animation sometimes.
Well, same thing with that DC show with the Teen Titans.
Oh yeah, the original Teen Titans. Teen Titans Go was like a hard pass for me when it came out. But I gave the original Teen Titans a chance, and I just couldn't get past it. It was just terrible. But then there is also, you have some strong feelings about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care that everyone else on the planet thought it was a great animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the animation. And any show that you put either the Frog of Thunder in it or Spider-Ham, you're not getting it past me. I mean,
I could have done without Spider-Ham. The story was not horrible, but I hated the animation so much. It's like, the way, Kingpin, for example, in that movie, it's this huge, unbelievable size guy. I know the Kingpin's supposed to be big, but I just couldn't buy into it. I just didn't like it. So, Spider-Man freshman year, we'll see how they do with this. If it's the same style as Into the Spider-Verse, might have to skip on the series.
They got some other anime stuff coming out.
Yeah. So, if you're a millennial like me, they announced something that you're really excited about. XMen 1997. Now, if you know, X-Men, the animated series from Fox Kids, it ended in 1997. So, sounds like they are picking up the animated series right where it left off in 97.
I enjoyed that series, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so really excited about that. All right, so and they made a couple other announcements, and really looking forward to it all. Of course, Hawkeye next week. Super stoked about it.
You're not done with the animation.
Oh, what did I miss?
Marvel Zombies.
Oh, Marvel Zombies. Yeah. It kind of has to be animation. Imagine if they did a live action Marvel Zombie show.
I don't think they could get all the actors they
No.
needed to make that really work. But,
Yeah, but we got a little tease for it in What If, and and now they're going to do a full series on it. So wait to see what that turns into. All right, so does that cover all the big stuff?
Close enough.
Okay. All right, so my pick for She-Hulk. Dad's got excited about Moon Knight. But of course, we're excited for all of it.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen a show that they're going to roll out that I'm not interested in.
Right. All right, so there is our coverage on Disney Plus Day. Now we're going to move on to our comic book reviews.
Comic book?
Yeah.
Was I supposed to read some comic books?
Yeah.
I did.
Okay. All right, so to give you a refresher on how we do this, if you've never watched our show before, we grade comic books on a 5-shield rating system. We each give it 2 scores, one for writing and story, and the other one for artwork. And then we combine the 4 scores together and give it an average overall score. All right, so first we want to do our mentions, and we don't call them honorable mentions because sometimes we have something negative to say about them. But we thought there was something about the comic book, good or bad, that was worth mentioning. So, who we have on our mentions first this week?
All right, first up from Boom Studios, a little book based on the old Oswald conspiracy. It's something that I thought was going to be interesting. You know, I picked it up like late when I went to get our comic books last week. It was one that I thought, you know, I got to go ahead and get that. I got it mostly because I know that you, even though you may not be a big-time conspiracy theorist, I know that you have always been interested in the assassination of Robert JFK.
JFK.
Yeah.
All right, so, I mean, for the record, I am not a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
But, you know, I've always been interested in the story ever since we went to Dallas and the grassy knoll on my high school trip many, many years ago. And, you know, I've watched documentaries. I saw the Oliver Stone JFK film. That's work of fiction, by the way, my opinion. So, in Oswald, regarding the matter of Oswald's body, you know, when you first look at this, you know, you're not really sure what it's about because, you know, you're like, you know, who's Oswald? So, in this story, it's kind of a setup, is this first issue. And it talks about a group of, you know, motley crew of people who have some kind of specialty that they have to offer this guy who is going around the country recruiting people.
Which reminded me of Nick Fury when he gathered up the Avengers.
Okay. And there's also an exhumed body at the beginning of the story that you're not really sure what's going on here. So, and they're kind of subtle about what the story's about. And then in the last page, you see a familiar photograph, to which if you know anything about history and the assassination, what that picture is of.
Well, also the next page there's a flow chart and it's got Jack Ruby's name in it.
So, you know, then you're like, oh, well, what's going on here? I am intrigued. So, and for the record, you know, I believe Oswald acted alone in the real world here. But this still makes for some, you know, interesting fiction telling. So, interested to see where the story goes. Regarding the matter of Oswald's body, ends up with...
After rounding it up, 3.5 shields.
3.5 shields. All right, next up.
All right, well, next up is a book that I didn't think I would like.
Mm-hmm.
I got it just for speculation, but turns out I liked it. I don't really care for the symbiote stories. What was the storyline that we just got off of?
King in Black.
King in Black. Hated it. Every time I picked up an issue,
I enjoy it, but
I know.
Okay.
I'm definitely not saying that it wasn't good stuff. I didn't care for it. This was good though. I liked it.
All right, so this picks up a while after the events of King in Black. Eddie Brock is the new King in Black after he defeated Null with, you know, the help of a lot of people, and it tells the story of him trying to balance being the King in Black with his relationship with his son. And Eddie is trying to make the symbiotes a force for good in the galaxy now and use them to rescue people throughout the galaxy. And we see in the middle of the story here him using a rescue operation with the symbiotes, and you know things don't go as planned. Also, we see what's going on with Dylan, and Yeah, I thought the story dragged for a little bit, which is why I gave it a slightly lower score. Uh, Artwork, solid. Nothing wrong with it. So, Venom, number one, this new story ends up with...
It also was 3.5 shields after it was rounded up.
All right, 3.5 shields out of 5.
All right, next up, another Bat book. We have, instead of Batman and Robin, we have Robin and Batman, number one in a 3-part miniseries.
All right, so this tells, once again, the origin story of Dick Grayson as Robin.
When I picked it up, I would have bet that it was about Damian.
Well, in the story of how Dick Grayson became Robin, it's been told, I feel like I've read it like a half dozen times. So this new one, Dick Grayson is out in the field, and he's not Robin yet. He's just a kid in a mask, and he's supposed to stop a simple car robbery, and he screws up and almost gets himself hurt if Batman hadn't stepped in. So Batman decides that he's not ready for field work yet and that he needs more training. And, Dick Grayson, being a rebellious preteen, decides that he's not going to listen to dear old dad. And
sounds like Damian.
Yep. Well, it sounds like just about any of the Robins when they first started.
I mean, let's face it. He's 12 years old.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Yeah. So, the artwork, didn't care for it. It is it hand painted, I guess?
It looks like it's watercolor.
Yeah, just terrible. It's better than Batman Reptilian because at least I can tell what's going on here.
It's not nearly as dark.
Yeah, but still, it's pretty bad in my oh-so-humble opinion. Killer Croc looks like a kid drew it. But the story, not horrible, even though I've heard the story told a million times. Robin and Batman, number one of 3, because it's only 3 issues, we're going to probably keep getting it. Robin and Batman, number one, ends up with...
This one, due to the artwork that we didn't care for, it's only 3 shields rounded up.
All right, 3 shields out of 5. All right, so there's our mentions for this week. Now we're going into our top 4.
All right. And as usual, there was a tie for 3rd and 4th, and there was a tie for 1st and 2nd. So I didn't want to do anything physical because Jackass keeps beating me in every physical contest we have. So I got out the cards and we played Go Fish. And if we do something that's just pure luck, I got a chance. And I won. I think it's been a really bad losing streak, but I finally won. So I got to pick which one was 3rd and 4th and which one was 1st and 2nd. So according to the old man this week, the number 4 spot is DC's The Joker.
I don't get many physical victories. I don't know why you're trying to take it from me. All right, so The Joker, number 9. So in this issue, the Gordon and the kind of a female version of Bane called Vengeance, they're driving to a location to try and find the Joker. So Gordon makes conversation, and he kind of retells kind of the Joker's greatest hits. Where
anything that involved him, and you better believe those were hits.
Yeah. The events of the Killing Joke, where he paralyzed Barbara and then tried to drive Gordon insane to prove a point to Batman. And then later, years later in No Man's Land, where Joker executed Gordon's second wife, Sarah Essen. And then later on in the story, Barbara is back in Gotham uncovering some clues, and the story of when the Joker killed Jason Todd comes up. So, they're retelling all of Joker's stuff in this issue.
This comes up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't Batman end this?
Well, and that's exactly what Gordon is trying to do here. So you uncover in this issue a conspiracy by not only the Joker, but by people who protect Joker, the people who hide supervillains when they're in between schemes, and what they have in store for the Joker. So right now, Gordon and Vengeance have kind of aligned themselves in trying to stop the Joker and, you know, these allies of his, or these people might have their own motives as well. So, you know, artwork also, you know, solid, great stuff. The Joker, number 9, ends up with, I believe it's 3.5.
No. It was
No.
rounded up to 4 shields.
Rounded up 4 shields out of 5.
In fact, all 4 of these books are going to be 4 shields, but the first 2 were rounded up.
All right.
All right, so number 3, from a company we don't buy a lot of stuff from, Dynamite Comics. And this is a spin-off from Vampirella, I believe, which we don't read at all. I just thought it looked interesting. There's a lot of different covers for this, and I just picked the one that I thought looked good. The confusing part is Marvel has a Nyx, N-Y-X character. She's called the Mother of Night. I don't know anything about the character, but I have seen the name pop up. So I thought that was confusing. But this is some sort of fire demon.
Yeah. All right, so Nyx is a half-human, half-demon woman.
I think the demon was like a insane chaos god.
Yeah, they actually made a when she tells about her origins, she actually made a joke about it, because some people get her origins wrong. They say that that she's the daughter of the devil, and you know it's actually not, because her dad isn't the devil. He's the mad god Chaos, which she says is actually kind of worse in a way, because her father was never an unlike Lucifer. All right, so for Nyx, unfortunately, she has to feed off of humans in order to survive, a lot like a succubus. But she tries to do it to people who deserve it. So she tries to balance this life and, you know, walk in both worlds. So in this story, she actually meets a semi-regular vanilla guy, and you know she actually develops feelings for him. So she actually carries on this relationship for a bit before, you know, the other half of her life comes knocking, and she realizes she has to deal with this before she can live anything resembling a normal life. So I thought it was a great story. The animation is pretty great in this. You know, it's very, you know, the artwork really tells the story here. I mean, you almost wouldn't need the dialogue to know what's going on, which is...
We both scored it 4 shields for art.
Yeah, which, you know, is what you hope for with artwork in any comic book. All right, so Nyx, number 1, definitely going to be continuing with this. This says teen plus, but I don't think most people would want their teenagers reading this.
Well, maybe a 17, 18-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't want a 13-year-old reading it.
No.
Very adult.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if we had this in our garage sale, it would be in the 18 plus box, right?
It would.
All right, so Nyx, number 1, comes in at our number 3 spot with 4 shields out of 5.
Rounded up.
Right. All right, so our number 2 spot.
Well, this number 2 spot is number 2 of a 5-issue miniseries from AWA, and this one is a case of, I like the first issue, but this one jumped way out. This is Out.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is Out number 2, and the first issue, it kind of felt like a regular POW story for most of it.
World War II, right?
Yeah, and then in like the last page, it takes a hard turn into supernatural. And for me, it kind of felt like it could be technically in the same realm as the Wolfenstein series. And you made a comparison to Guillermo del Toro, right?
Oh, yeah. It was very similar to the background you get from the books and the movie and the TV show, The Strain, where one of the leads is really old and he was around during the Holocaust, and he experienced something very similar to this.
Right, Professor Satrakian. Yeah, great character. Anyways, so in this story, it's a POW camp, and the Allies are almost at the door. You know, the war is all but over, but of course, the Nazis aren't giving in, and they are trying to uncover a new weapon, which they have uncovered beneath this church. And they bring in a POW who may be able to offer some aid in controlling this new weapon they've uncovered.
Well, it kind of surprised me because this guy appears to be a wind talker. Mel Gibson did I think it was Mel Gibson.
No, it was Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage did a movie about wind talkers, which were basically Native Americans who they used their native language to transmit messages because they knew the Germans would think it was a code. It really wasn't a code, it's just a different language. But I thought most of those were out in the Pacific, but this is in Europe, so I don't know.
So, trying to control this new weapon, and there was one scene where a Nazi officer is talking to one of the POW officers, and the way he talks to the Nazi is like, okay, I know how this is going to go. But, great story, artwork, pretty fantastic.
Well, we gave it 4s for everything. So
right.
It got solid 4.
Yeah, and it's number 2 out of 5, it's a miniseries. So out number 2, getting 4 shields out of 5, our number 2 spot for this week.
All right, number 1 from DC, Justice League Last Ride. It's number 7 in a 7-issue miniseries.
All right. So in this finale for this story, the Justice League is locked in a battle with Darkseid on Apocalypse. And Apocalypse has been inactive for a long time, and Darkseid assumed dead. And, he's trying to raise Apocalypse back up and destroy the League in the process. And then the League finds out that they are being aided by an old friend long since believed to be dead. And also Lobo is in the mix. That's the whole reason
He's been in it from the beginning.
Yeah, they came in the first place was to bring Lobo to face justice for countless crimes. So by the end of the issue, you find out what the future is in store for the League. So Justice League Last Ride artwork near perfect, great story. It ends up with our number 1 spot, 4 shields out of 5. All right, so there is our top picks for this week. If you don't have them already, highly recommend you go out to your local comic shop and get them. Now, what do we have that we're getting this week?
All right, this week I'm going to go ahead and declare it the week of the Bat.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there are 5 Bat books coming out that we get. Believe it or not, we don't get every Bat book, but man,
I mean, that would take up our entire purchases for the week.
It would take up a good chunk of our budget. Yeah. But anyway, you got Batman number 117 coming out, which I'm sorry, that storyline is getting a little long. I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, okay.
Batman Secret Files, The Gardener number 1, which is about Poison Ivy. Batman versus Bigby, number 3 of that miniseries. You've got Legends of the Dark Knight, number 7. And once again, a new title, not Robin, but Robins.
Okay. I mean, they're going Robin crazy lately, it seems.
Yeah, this is the week of the Bat, but it might be the month of the Robins.
All right, so you got...
Oh, yeah, that's just the basic stuff.
Right.
But there are 3 books that I know we really look forward to every time they come out. You've got Not All Robots number 4.
All right.
Now, this is a book that was recommended to us by Jacob at Comic Book World. Thank you, Jacob. And probably wouldn't have picked it up. But it turns out it's got great artwork. It's got a great storyline. It's one of those, robots have kind of taken over. Good story. And I think it's getting looked over. I don't think people are buying it. You should. Also, one that everybody's picking up is The Nice House on the Lake, number 6. Now, this is the midway point of this 12-issue miniseries. Every issue is better than the last one. It's been amazing so far. And then one that we always look forward to, love it or hate it, Space Bastards.
All right. Well,
the 9th issue comes out.
I don't remember if our boy is doing this one or not.
I don't know what the art's going to be. Hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah. All right. So there's our picks for this week. Head out to your local comic book shop if our opinion means a damn to you. All right.
Even if it doesn't, you should still go to the comic book shop.
All right, so I have a special Movieism in store for this week. This one kind of plays into what we were talking about with, does it? Wait. No, I guess it doesn't. Never mind. All right, it's still a Movieism, though. Should be fun. All right, let's head back up in the garage with Thor. All right, comic lovers, back out here in the garage with Thor. Thor enjoying his treats, aren't you? Yeah, and also chilling out here, right? All right, so I have a new Movieism for you today. This one, see, I've kind of been straying away from being comic book centric, but I mean, most of these Movieisms, you could probably find them in a comic book movie or two. All right, so this one is what we call the false alarm. Any ideas?
Is that like the red herring?
Sort of, but not quite.
Okay.
The false alarm is when the character, like just for example, is walking down a hallway and the music is building up and you're supposed to think something is about to jump out at the character, but then it turns out to be nothing, or maybe it's a pet or a friend screwing around.
It's close to a red herring.
Okay. Now, I actually learned that there's another term for this that goes all the way back to the 1940s. The 1942 film Cat People calls it the Luton bus scare. And if you watch the movie, there's a scene where a woman's walking down the street, busy city street, and you think that, the music's building up, like it's supposed to, something's about to come out and grab her or something.
The music's building up.
Yep.
Building up. Building up. There you go.
Then all of a sudden a bus drives by. Makes a really loud sound, but obviously it is just a bus. Hence the false alarm.
Okay.
All right, so here's a few examples of the false alarm or the Luton bus scare.
It's just me.
Billy, what are you doing here?
Sorry, don't hate me. Run.
Hey, guys, what are you gonna do? You're gonna drive me crazy? Is that what you want to do? Do you want to drive me crazy?
No, Dad. We just want to drive. But the man won't let us.
How can I make you guys understand you cannot live your life surfing? You need something to fall back on.
Way ahead of you, Dad. That's why we skateboard.
What was that?
Look at that dumb cat knocking something over.
We have a cat?
I'd put down a knife if I were you.
Seriously, if you don't want chives, I won't put them in.
All right, there's a few examples of the false alarm, aka the Luton bus scare trope. All right, that about wraps things up here for back issues. Next week's going to be a pretty busy week. We are going to have the reaction video to the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye. They're airing the first 2 episodes same day. So we're going to have that, plus a new episode of back issues. And also, we're going to have Thanksgiving, Thursday.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're forgetting a kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal in our house, anyway.
All right, so looking forward to next week. It's going to be a busy next week. Remember, if you're deep frying your turkeys, the turkey has to thaw first. If you want it, a lot of people, when I say this at my trivia shows, one person asked, why? I'm like,
have you not seen a YouTube video?
Yeah, look up YouTube deep frying a turkey and you'll know why, all right? So remember, that thing has to thaw. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Excelsior.
True believers, I got nothing.